It's time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on KALH, weather always comes first. Heavy rain, flash flooding, and severe thunderstorms are expected into today from southern Louisiana into western Georgia. An enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms is in effect. Across the west, an atmospheric river brings heavy rainfall and flash flooding to central and southern California. Heavy snow is also forecast in the Sierra Nevada. Closer to home, tranquil weather is expected today. Winds increase again tomorrow and Saturday with a chance for mountain snow and lowland rain showers. Dry and calmer conditions return next week. We'll have another look at the weather following this news. As we previously shared, we made a single IPRA request of Tularosa schools to obtain a few documents. Now, contrary to what the superintendent claims, he says we made several costing the school man-hours and thousands of dollars in expenses. But no, it was just one. In a letter received from Laura Castile, the attorney for Tularosa schools, she acknowledges that request was made and states that the due date for the documents is February 12th. That was yesterday. So, were those documents received?
No. Unfortunately, we did not receive a response today. The last letter we received said that we would have a response or an answer to anything that they could or could not fulfill by February 12th, and it's now 6 p.m. on February 12th, and we've heard no response.
Chris Edwards of Second Life Media further explained the next steps.
So the whole situation around our IPRA response with Tularosa schools has been a situation of comedy because they don't seem to want to respond. So we are going to file a complaint with the Attorney General's office, and we are now moving forward with seeking legal counsel.
Failure to provide documents from an IPRA request can result in a daily fine of $100 from the AG's office. Alamogordo Daily News editor Elva Osterreich covers top stories, including local officials making the case for Otero County priorities in Santa Fe.
A lot of people from Otero County headed for Santa Fe at the end of last week, Thursday and Friday, for Otero County Days at the legislature. We have some great photos today on our front page and some very tired participants coming home over the weekend. But to all reports, they had a successful time and were able to convey plenty of our needs as a county to the deciders up there.
Another issue on top of many minds in the area is the almost 5,000 acres of federal land in Eddy County, which could be leased for oil and gas development.
The lands could be leased to the oil and gas industry at an auction planned for November in the Permian Basin of southeast New Mexico. The Bureau of Land Management announced it was seeking public input on the proposed sale, which will offer leases of the public land for fossil fuel development for 10-year terms. Leasing does not ensure the land will be drilled and oil extracted. After the leases are bought at auction, operators still have to apply for permits to drill and submit an environmental impact analysis.
In other words,
drill, baby, drill.
You can hear the conversation in full on the KRWG website. The County Commission regular meeting is happening today at 9 a.m. Lots of new business, like opposing the Antiquities Act, recognizing emergency dispatchers as first responders, and a roof replacement request at the Weed School. The Alamo Senior Center presents the Valentine's Dinner and Dance happening today from 2 until 3. Steak fillet, shrimp skewers, and red velvet cake. From 3 to 5 is dancing with music from Bo Rivers. That's at the Alamo Senior Center, $15 a head. Buy your tickets at the front office. Love Inc. of Otero County presents a Love Affair to Remember. That's happening Saturday at the Sergeant Willie Estrada Memorial Civic Center starting at 6 p.m. You're invited to join in this benefit gala hosted by Love Inc. of Otero County. Come dine and dance. Try your luck at Double Down Party Company's casino tables. Enjoy some hors d'oeuvres. Dive into an intriguing murder mystery and get your picture taken at the photo booth courtesy of Mike Castanora. And then dance the night away to music by Andres Montoya. A protest is scheduled for Monday. That's at 12:30. In front of the courthouse, 1000 New York, protesting the bond release of Deputy Jacob Diaz-Austin. Conditions of release are sealed, and he has been accused of first-degree murder of Elijah Hadley. It's amazing to me how, in the court of public opinion, this guy should already be found guilty and sentenced. with the execution carried out. That's just not the way it worked, folks. He is innocent until proven guilty. Well, today is Thursday. It's time now for a Thursday Thought from Lauren Noble.
Good morning, 95.1 listeners. This is Pastor Lauren with our Thursday Thought. Recently, meaning over the last several months, I have noticed on Facebook, which I spend way too much time on, that people post something that sounds good or just their opinion without fact-checking it to see if the information is correct. While I realized there was likely no social media back in King Solomon's day, it obviously is not a new problem. In Proverbs 18:1, it reads, "A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion." Post-election, it seems that more and more posts on Facebook expressing one's opinions on the current affairs of America, almost to the point that I do not really want to be on Facebook, which maybe is good because, as I said, I spend too much time on there. But I get tired of being bombarded by people's opinions, and these opinions oftentimes do little to unite America. Rather, they do a lot to divide our country and to cause more division than it already has. Let me say a prayer for us. Lord, help us to be mindful of expressing our opinions both on and off social media so our conversation builds up rather than tears down others and the lifestyle and promotes unity rather than division, because sometimes our opinions just really do not need to be versed and voiced. Amen. Until we meet up again on the airwaves, blessings to you.
News from around the state in just a moment. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Local news from local perspectives, from local voices. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Local sports, local events, and local happenings and more. Nonprofit owned and operated by Second Life Media. We are Otero County. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Heard daily on Crazy KALH Radio 95.1.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
When you're high, you feel different. But if you feel different, you drive different. So don't drive high. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Former Las Cruces police officer Brad Lunsford was found guilty of voluntary manslaughter yesterday for shooting and killing Presley Ezzie at a gas station back in 2022. As we've previously covered, in August of 2022, Lunsford began questioning Ezzie after he allegedly stole some beer and was unable or unwilling to verify his identity. Lunsford and another officer forcibly removed Ezzie from a vehicle to arrest him. That resulted in a scuffle. Ezzie and the other officer ended up on the ground, Ezzie on top of the officer. During the struggle, Ezzie gained possession of the other officer's taser, although it was never cycled or deployed. In response, Lunsford immediately shot Ezzie in the back left side of his head at point-blank range, killing him on scene. The jury was presented with footage of the incident, expert use of force testimony, and many other exhibits that the state had prepared. So I guess the lesson here is the officer should have just let him go? I don't know. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says that 2 planes flew 190 Venezuelan illegal aliens back to their country from Fort Bliss this week.
Just this week, 2 planes with 190 Venezuelan illegal aliens arrived in the Venezuelan capital from Fort Bliss, Texas.
Last week, Fort Bliss made national headlines when it served as the departure point for a flight carrying migrants to Guantanamo Bay. The immigration laws are rather controversial for some reason, but they have long existed. It's just now they're being enforced. Many illegal aliens are concerned about being deported.
Some of the immigrants are the base for supporting businesses, services in our community, construction, restaurants, service providers, landscaping, farming, hotels, and other services.
An anonymous immigration expert spoke with KIFI about the deportations. The expert says he consults migrants on immigration rights.
But they don't have a priority for the U.S. government or immigration or ICE to be deported. Those are the ones who are going to be in the last worried, per se, for ICE.
ICE follows a pyramid-like structure in order of importance. The top priority are fugitives who have committed violent crimes. The second tier are people who have committed crimes and failed to appear in court. Third, the folks that were denied asylum. And at the bottom of the pyramid are those who have been living in the United States, may not have committed any additional crimes, but they've gone undetected. A sweeping public safety package, the first for this legislative session, includes 6 bills that tackle a variety of critical issues. One of the big issues highlighted is a revision to the state's criminal competency laws. House Bill 8 would expand the evaluation process to allow judges to make a case-by-case review for suspects accused of certain serious crimes. They would have to go through a mental health hearing to determine if they are competent to stand trial and if they're considered dangerous. If a defendant is deemed incompetent and considered to be dangerous to themselves or others, they can be involuntarily admitted to a mental health facility. A hearing will be held 90 days later to check if they can stand trial. This crime package also includes other bills aimed at tackling issues like converting handguns into automatic weapons and stricter penalties for fentanyl trafficking and auto theft. It also makes shooting or a bomb threat a 4th-degree felony. Some lawmakers say this bill is a step in the right direction. Others say this doesn't do enough to hold criminals accountable. Ultimately, the bill passed on a 7-4 vote and now heads to the House floor for an official vote. Sports and weather are coming up next. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
The simple truth about education-based athletics in New Mexico is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, they just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the New Mexico Activities Association and the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association.
Hundreds flocked to the Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino back in September for a huge racing event. You no doubt recall that. The All-American Futurity and undercard races generally happen in Ruidoso, but after the historic and catastrophic flooding following the wildfires, Ruidoso Downs had to move the races to Albuquerque. Several races unfolded on September 2nd, and event-goers witnessed something not normally seen in horse racing. Some of the horses were acting, some say, erratically. Since those races, the commission has been holding on to more than $5 million in purses and not handing them to the winners of the races. 12 quarter horses in 4 different races were found to have had an illicit substance, carmoterol, in their system on race day. Ismael Trejo, the executive director of the New Mexico Racing Commission, spoke with KOAT.
What we found over the years is that this drug is used and it just has a natural reaction to build muscle. So if you have a horse that has the benefits of being a bigger, stronger horse, competing against horses that have just been eating hay, oats, and water, you could argue that they're going to have an unfair advantage.
All 12 horses that tested positive have been placed on the stewards list, meaning they cannot run in any licensed jurisdiction in North America until the adjudication process has been finalized. The trainers were summarily suspended, meaning they could no longer participate in racing in North America in any licensed jurisdiction. There are 52 games for Mexico girls basketball today, including Carrizozo at Corona Vaughn, Hondo at Mountain Air, Mescalero at Capitan, Cloudcroft at Lordsburg, and Mayfield comes to Alamogordo. Go, Lady Tigers! There are 38 games for Mexico varsity basketball today, including Carrizozo at Corona Vaughn, Hondo at Mountain Air, Mescalero at Capitan, Cloudcroft at Lordsburg, and Alamogordo heads to Mayfield. Go Tigers! Your Crazy Radio spot on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for mostly sunny skies, mostly cloudy tonight, winds gusting up to 15 miles per hour, partly sunny tomorrow, 20% chance of showers, winds gusting up to 34. Your high today in the basin, 60, low tonight of 41, wind chills are going to make it feel like it's 37. High tomorrow, 68 degrees. In Cloudcroft, mostly sunny skies today, winds gusting up to 22 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight, winds gusting up to 25. Partly sunny and windy tomorrow with a 20% chance of a wintry mix. New precipitation amounts are expected to be less than 1/10 of an inch. Winds will be gusting up to 50 miles per hour. Your high today in Cloudcroft, 42. Wind chills are going to make it feel like it's 15. Low tonight of 30. Wind chills are going to make it feel like it's 22. High tomorrow, 47 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.org, and learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting kalhradio.org. Also, check out the Crazy KLH Radio YouTube channel. That's where we post our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you've not done so already. That way you too can remain informed of the goings-on in the Tularosa Basin. And that concludes today's edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.